So when trading a simple strategy like supply and demand, it's obviously really important that you're trading alongside the trend, as well as having a decent idea of where price will go next. So today I have a long overdue video where I'm basically going to be going through Forex and some futures markets and showing you exactly what I'm searching for in order to decide whether I'm looking for buys, sells, or just kind of staying out the markets. We're going to start off with some basic uses of highs and lows, and then as we progress, we'll move on to some more advanced uses of structure so that we can predict exactly where trend is going from an early point. Starting off with the most simple thing you can possibly do, looking at your screen. I constantly get asked with just different types of markets what my bias is, whether I'm looking for buys or sells, and a lot of the time all I have to say is, are we coming from the bottom left of the screen and going to the top right of the screen, or are we going from the top left to the bottom right? If we're just coming from the left and going to the right, that means we're likely consolidating. But most of the time, it is very easy to see the general trend. Obviously, this is usually the more long-term trend, but even if I zoom into more specific parts, just on GJ right now, you can still see the same thing. We are coming from the bottom left and moving to the top right. This is just what we call a bullish market. So then when we move further on and we're looking for potential opportunities, where are we going to trade? Well, we're still looking overall bullish, so I'm still going to be looking for buys. Now, you will have retracements where it looks like it's going to go bearish, but it's important to be able to decipher these from full changes in trend. And whilst you can still use these opportunities as places to sell from, you need to be able to kind of see the limits of them, where you can potentially take trades up to, and where these may just be a trap. But the main thing I'm usually looking at is just breaks of structure. This is genuinely one of the only things that I'm looking at in order to determine trend. This is for the 5 minute, the 30 minute, etc. This can work for any of them. But just simply, where are we breaking and what are we failing to break? So in this situation, we're looking very bearish. We can see we're moving from the top left to the bottom right of my screen. And yeah, of course, we'd be looking for sells during this whole move down. And you can see as we're coming down, we're making no bullish confirmation at all, really. We're still breaking lows until here. We come up and then we fail to break this low to the left. Why have we just randomly failed to break a low and gotten such a harsh rejection? Now, this alone, obviously, is not enough for me to just start taking buys because we're still so bearish overall. But on top of that, we've also just broken 3 pretty major highs to the left. This one being the most major, of course. So we've now just failed to break a major low and succeeded to break a major high. And then we've come down and reacted this strongly from a demand zone. It's unlikely that this is just going to go and plummet down again. And even if it does, it's trading. You're not going to predict everything. But from plays like this, you can easily make some ridiculous risk to rewards. I mean, this completely changed the trend for the last however many months. Once again, just looking at breaks of structure, all we're seeing here is breaks of highs, and we're not seeing any breaks of lows. Even in situations like this where we fail to break this high, you may think, oh, wouldn't you be now looking for sells? Well, no, we haven't broken any significant lows to say that we'll be going bearish either. So we're just waiting for more confirmation, which we get here. We even break another high before coming down to our zone, and this is an A+ setup for us. Great level of liquidity in front of it and a clean demand zone. Once again, right here, you can see we failed to break this high. So are we looking for sells? No, because we also failed to break this low right here. This is just a continuation of the trend. So you're basically assuming that you are continuing the trend until you've seen confirmation of quite a few things. I mean, moving up right here, we failed to break this high once again, and then we came down and basically matched this low, and then we just reacted really hard, and then we continued bullish for a little bit. Looks like we did the exact same thing. Maybe we're struggling to break past this area, and then here you can see we failed to break that high, broke past this low, that's a little bit of confirmation, and then strongly broke past this low from earlier, and from here we can take sells. You don't really have to overcomplicate it. I mean, if we look back, once again, we've still been bullish for quite a while, so it might just be a short-term trend of going down, but you can see we did go down for quite a while, and this did kind of change the trend. But also on the way up, we're seeing things like this happen. So after we failed to break this high and then dropped down a bunch, we then did the same down here, failed to break this, and then boom, we've broken past this high. We're now looking for buys, and we get a great buy opportunity over here. This obviously won't always happen. This time it just started dropping again, and then we've just got confirmation to sell around down here. So breaks of structure and failures of breaks of structure are very important when I'm determining my trend. There's literally infinite examples I could go through, but I'm going to try and move on to some higher time frame stuff. I already have no script for this video. This is just the things that I'm always looking for when identifying trend. I'm just going to go through some random markets at the end and showing you exactly what I would be looking for in order to determine those. But yeah, let's just say you're on the 30 minute. We've just shown some real confirmation that we're going bearish. Obviously just consistently breaking lows here, not breaking any highs. What areas are you looking for on the higher time frames to potentially determine going either direction? It's a lot more difficult to tell on the 30 minute where you're at. But if you just go on to something like, I don't know, the 4 hour, you can kind of see the overall market a lot better. And I mean, what kind of movement are we creating on GC right here? We're coming up, and then we're coming all the way down to the bottom of this area, and then we're rejecting, and we're breaking the highs to the left, okay? We then did that, coming a little bit lower towards this kind of area of consolidation instead of all the way down, and then went up. So what are we most likely to do? Or where are we gonna react if we go bullish again? Well, from previous market data, when we had massive moves down like this, you can see what happened is we reached the bottom of the area, and then we went bullish. Sorry, I don't know if that was actually on screen. And I mean, let's measure how many pips this was. This was 360 pips. This massive drop was 350 pips. Once again over here, this drop, 330 pips. What about this drop over here? 330 pips. They're all about the same distance that it dropped before then going bullish. And for the most part, they all reached an area that looks like it could go bullish from it. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody. It might not if you're a beginner, but generally price tends to react from areas of kind of consolidation. So right here you can see we came down, we had a little retracement here. So this isn't just a part of the straight line. Generally, price won't come up like a straight line like this and then just react from a random area. It won't just react from just nothingness. Usually it reacts from an area like this, an area like this, or just generally when it's done a large retracement and has reached the bottom of the whole area. Okay, once again, you can see right here, it kind of reached this level of consolidation rather than just going into this clear space and then going up. So where have we reached here? Well, we reached right at the bottom of this structure here. So if we're going to go bullish, this is the most likely place. And we also know that when GBP CAD has big drops like 360 pips, if we go to previous drops of that same distance, that's exactly when they start going up. Literally, all these moves are pretty much the same, at least in recent history. So on the 30 minute, or even the 5 minute, this can just be a good confluence to take buys on the 5 minute time frame. Obviously, the 4 hour is not going to do much for the 5 minute. We're just going to be a tiny little wick on the 4 hour time frame if we're trading the 5 minute, so it doesn't really matter too much, but still, trading with trend is never going to hurt. So once we've seen that and we get some kind of bullish reaction and we start maybe breaking highs without breaking any lows, we've got a tiny bit of confirmation here. Even though it's not too clear, we've got some minor bits of structure that are just kind of slowly going up. But right here, let's say the setup tapped. It actually hasn't, but this is a perfect opportunity to start buying. Even though we're technically trading against our current time frames trend, we can use the higher time frames to basically catch a big risk reward. I don't know if this would actually win or not, but I think it goes in the direction bullish. Yeah, it does continue bullish. Once again, the setup itself wasn't valid, so not surprised that lost. But we reached the bottom of this area and then started moving extremely bullish, and this is where you're wanting to catch your buy positions. Once again, no plan for this video or script. This is just something people always ask for, and I'm just trying to honestly explain what I'm seeing. I do it very automatically now, so I'm not really thinking about these things, but I'm going to go through a couple markets and kind of show you my general idea for where I think it could go. I'm going to do this on the 5 minute because, I mean, it can vary a lot more, so I can show you more different types of markets. But obviously, on the 5 minute, you generally don't have to overanalyze things like this. It could go either way. We can just catch a trade being just a small wick on the higher time frame. So, but let's say gold right now. This is a pretty clear one. I'm obviously not going to want to sell quite yet in this market. And the reason I say quite yet is because we have just made this massive move up. What I'd be looking for in order to sell is kind of what I was talking about earlier. So we made a drop here and then came up, failing to break this high and then broke the low. Already I can look to start taking some sells. But for now we have zero confirmation of that. We're breaking past all the highs to the left. I also have the knowledge that gold is generally a bullish instrument. We all know gold is usually going up and not down. It's something seen as good to invest in for that reason. Same with things like NAS 100, S&P. They're generally safe investments because they are likely to go up. So taking buys is ideal. But if we go down a little bit, you can see when we kind of started going bullish, even starting from the small things down here, like we were coming very bearish and then we failed to break once and we failed to break the low twice. and then we started making some bullish market structure. And then this was just obviously a news event. This was NFP, so that's gonna do whatever it wants. Okay, so it looks like NFP just did the same thing of everything, so I'm just gonna take it back to a random point and then just kind of I don't know. All right, so once again, very bullish market. This is very obvious. Before I just went into replay mode, I would have just said very bearish. But I mean, yeah, it's as simple as this, really. If this doesn't show you how obvious it usually is, then I don't know what does. I mean, we're going up. You can use things like the 200 EMA. I haven't used it for ages because I just like straight price action, breaks of structure, whatever. But this is like a fine thing to use. But say we went down to maybe here. Now what am I looking at? Well, we know that it did go bullish, but in all honesty, in this market, it'd be quite uncertain. What we do know is that overall we're very bearish. There's no actual setups going on, so I'm just staying out for the moment. There are some potential demand setups down here. And we can see that when we've come down, we failed to break this low once, failed to break it twice, failed to break it 3 times, and then continued making this bullish market structure. So if there was a supply setup up here, which it actually is it currently reacting? No, it's not. I'm not going to take this, because I can see that market structure coming up. It might sound like cheating because I know that we're going to go bullish here, but I mean, it just broke through it, so I can't even like use that. But that's another confirmation that we could be going bullish here. If we came down to one of these demand zones now, for example, right at the bottom here, I would potentially consider it. I would like to see us break past a high like this. Sorry, don't know what happened to my voice there. Like this, but yeah, it looks like we just kind of continue going. And then from here, buys all the way. I'm looking for straight buys. I don't know if we'll get a setup. This actually is during the day, so it's potential. This one got broken through, but I mean, if we don't break past this low, then no, we broke past the high. So still, we're just looking for trend, not setups right now. Buys are all we're looking for here. And we can kind of cancel out the idea of taking sells from an early point just based on structure. All right, GC. Okay, this is a bit more interesting. Whole bunch of big moves. Overall, we've been quite bearish, but I mean, we are kind of just doing a whole bunch of random shit. You can see we came down, formed a bunch of structure, and then came up, and then we went bullish for a while. News hit, came down, we've gone bearish, and have since not shown too much. Oh, I'm still in replay mode, so I can actually go forward and see what did happen. I don't know how much there'll be to go through, but so far what I can see right here is that when we came down, we failed to break the low, and we've since created some bullish market structure coming up. We're breaking highs consistently, and we've now come down, breaking this, but we still haven't broken this low. So right now, I'm quite hesitant to take either types of setups. There were these 2 buys right here. These were just already marked on here. But seeing this structure is what allowed us to take this win right here. And I mean, I think this was a loss. Yeah, it was. But I mean, you can see it went in the right direction. That was just markets taking us out by a couple pips before going up. And yeah, from here, like I said, come down quite a bit. Failed to break this high, so we could actually go bearish from here. But I'd be waiting for more confirmation in a market like this. We failed to break past this low, and we failed to break past this high. So I wouldn't be looking for any types of trades right here. And there we go. From here, sells are on the table. Once again, this timing is not exactly where I'm looking for trades in general, but we'll see where price comes up to. If we're going to continue going bearish, then I'd expect us to react from, I mean, yeah, this kind of area. Once again, we're backed up by some consolidation. So we'll see. I mean, we're still kind of within the area. If we go bearish here, then I won't be surprised. Okay, yeah, we just went bearish off that kind of spot. Once again, failed to break this high over here, and then went down a bunch. But if this was actually during a time where I would be taking trades, obviously this doesn't really look like it because volume's a lot different during this kind of time, which is the reason I wouldn't take trades at fucking 9 PM on the 5 minute. But yeah, I would be looking to more likely take sells than buys here, just because we're continuously getting the confirmation. Although around this kind of area, it is just a bit of waffle, a bit of nothing. All right, UJ. I mean, very bullish overall. There's not really much argument about that. But we have shown a little bit of bearish market structure. I'd kind of be waiting for it to break past these lows. It's the weekend right now. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I'd be waiting to see if we get a reaction from these lows. If we don't, we break straight past them with a clean candle, then I'd probably be looking for sells. We could get some short-term sells going into this massive like push up, because we're gonna correct it. We're not just gonna, if we go into a higher time frame, we've been going bullish for a while. Price isn't just gonna what price is usually gonna do is one of these and then continue up if we're gonna go bullish, just like we did exactly down here. We're just making big moves and then continuing. But on the 5 minute, we get a lot of opportunities on the way down of filling in this gap to take sells. So if we break past that, looking for sells. If we react from it or start looking bullish here, once again, failed to break this low. So if we break past these highs, then it's looking good for buys. God, I might be waffling so much in this video, but Euro USD, this one, so simple. Looking for sells. Even got some clean setups here. Looking good. Oh wait, I'm still in replay mode. Okay, I actually could go back. I mean forward. I mean, no, this is literally today. What? Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't help. If there's one thing you should learn from this is that you can't control what NFP does, because this is looking like a gorgeous bearish trend. We even broke past the low, continuing the bearish trend, and then boom. Yeah, you're not changing what NFP does. I don't care how strong you are. And then NAS, very bearish, nothing to say about it. But once again, say this was the 30-minute time frame, and we're looking at this and we're thinking, let me go into a higher time frame. Once again, I don't really care to go into a higher time frame than 5 minute. That's what I'm saying. Imagine we're on the 30-minute. If I go onto the 4 hour, you can kind of see where we've got to. If we react from anywhere in this kind of area anytime soon, then that's a great place to continue bullish. If we react anywhere from this kind of area, it's a great place to go bullish from. If not, I'd be expecting us to come down to maybe this kind of area. I'm not sure how much this relates to futures as much as it does for Forex, but it still does a decent amount. And yeah, I've waffled a lot this video, but let me know if you want more like it for some reason. And I'll see you in the next video. Tell me what else you want, or if there's anything else in this video that you want me to go deeper on. I find it difficult to explain trend because it's just so natural to me to where it's just difficult. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.